Now, after former athlete Iwan Thomas received the news that he was going to become a first-time father, he couldn't contain his excitement.
Well, after a straightforward pregnancy, the couple were excited to finally meet their baby son. But shortly after the birth, things took a turn for the worst. And what's more, the doctors didn't know why.
Well, Iwan's little boy, Teddy, had contracted Group B Strep, an infection in babies that can be deadly. Iwan's here now alongside Dr Chris, and welcome to you and congratulations on the birth of Teddy. But it's not been plain sailing by any stretch. First baby, pregnancy, plain sailing, you know, not even any morning sickness.
Brilliant.
Due on the 6th of January. There was a little bit of a funny thing that happened. I think your partner and you went into the hospital for a check, and she fainted, didn't she?
Yeah, just before Christmas time, she fainted, and we went in to have a checkup, and the doctor said the way the baby was moving at some points, it would cut off a nerve, and it would, blood pressure would drop. And everything was fine. About 3 days before Christmas, we noticed he wasn't kicking as much as he was. So we went straight to the hospital, got it checked out. They monitored the baby, everything seemed fine. And then by about the 4th day, they said, listen, let's induce. So on Saturday, he was due to be induced.
Yeah.
On Friday night, the waters broke, really excited, went to hospital, and they said, well, this is it. Go home if you want, relax, or you can stay. Went home, contractions started. It was a very quick birth. It was only an hour and a half before the first contraction to when he was born.
Wow.
Everything was brilliant. He came out, I burst into tears. I went home about 5 o'clock in the morning to get a shower, and literally got home, had a phone call saying, please come back to the hospital. He's in intensive care, he can't breathe. And I was like, is this a joke? Because he was fine when I saw him, perfectly healthy, and he didn't look ill. Nothing looked wrong.
And so there was this, and Dr Chris, you talk about this classic telltale sort of grunting sound that he had made, and this was him trying to struggle for breath.
Trying to breathe, and I think that is probably one of the first signs of Strep B, but we weren't even aware of Strep B before. Nobody mentioned what it was. I now know you can be tested for it. If you pay for it privately, I would have done that, but we had no indication what was causing the grunting. And it was just really frightening for us, because all of a sudden, as I said, he was rushed into intensive care. Before you know it, tubes everywhere, being helped to breathe. But then it got kind of worse. So the next day we went back, and they said, oh, he's had a good night. He's out of the intensive care nursery number 4, which is the most severe, and he's in nursery number 1, so he's getting better. And we were thinking, brilliant. Then that afternoon, they ran in and said, we're really sorry, his blood scores, which is the virus level of bacteria in his system, has gone from 14 to 120. And I said, is that bad? They said, very. And then all of a sudden we said, we need your permission to do a lumbar puncture to check if he's got an infection in his spinal fluid and on his brain. So all of a sudden I'm thinking the worst. I think he's going to be brain damaged or even at worse. And I went home that night, and I tried so much not to cry in hospital in front of my partner, but I did a mistake of Googling Strep B that night when I got home, because they said to us at this point it's Strep B. And then I read 1 in 10 babies will still die even after treatment, and it was just heartbreaking. And slowly but surely, once they knew it was Strep B, they gave him the correct antibiotics for that. And after 10 days of being in intensive care, he slowly got better, and his virus scores went down and down to the extent they came down to 6 eventually, and then they said he can go home.
And we're going to bring him in a moment. He's so quiet.
He's quiet during the day, but you can see him in the evening.
So what is it? How is he now?
Well, to me, this is a problem. We panic with everything, you know.
Sure.
He had a stage of having green poo, and I was thinking, oh, my God, the Strep B's come back, and then it's not. It's perfectly normal. Yes. And at night, he seems to sometimes struggle to breathe a little bit, and I think it just might be reflux. But, of course, we're ultra-paranoid because we've been told the Strep B virus can come back for up to 3 months. So at the moment, any sign of a normal baby activities, we're thinking, oh, no, it's bad, should we go to hospital? And it's just... I'm not saying it's a waiting game, but to a certain degree, for these first 3 months, you'll tell me if I'm incorrect.
Well, it's bad enough being a new parent anyway.
Absolutely.
You're always paranoid and you're always terrified, but to have that added extra worry on, especially something that you'd never heard about. So, Chris, what is it?
Well, Group B Strep is a bug, a bacterium, that lives in our and on our bodies. And about 1 in 4 women carry it in the vagina, harmlessly. It just lives with you. It doesn't cause any problems at all. However, in a pregnant mother, if who's carrying the bacterium, when the baby is born, as it passes through the vagina, it can pick up the Strep B bug and become infected. Now, most babies, even from mothers who are carrying it, don't get infected, but the ones that do can face serious problems. Group Strep B is the commonest cause of life-threatening conditions in newborn babies and the commonest cause of meningitis in babies under 3 months. And yet mums don't know about it.
Mums don't know about it, and also if you do have the test and it shows it's positive, it's relatively easy to treat, to make sure that it's not passed on to the baby, isn't it?
Well, the treatment is your antibiotics during labour in a drip, as simple as that. Penicillin, cheap, active antibiotic.
Yeah.
The thing is, you see, the things that frustrate me about this is mums don't know about it. Not every antenatal clinic talks to mums about this, and therefore don't offer the test. Now, the test, there's an NHS test, but that actually is wrong in 50% of cases.
Oh, right.
Now, there's another test, the gold standard, called the ECM test, that's not available in many NHS hospitals. You can have it done privately. It costs about £35. You can find out where to get that done from the Group B Strep group. They're called GBSS, and they're very good at giving all the information. And that's a test. That's 85% accurate.
And the test, how do you take the test?
It's a swab of the vagina
right.
and the rectum. The swab on the NHS test is a vaginal swab that's really testing you for causes of vaginal discharge. It's not specific enough. The ECM test is...
I think that's the most frustrating thing for me, to be honest. For the sake of £35, that's why I'm here. I want to try and raise awareness, because we weren't aware of this. And I nearly lost my baby because of it. And I'm not criticising the NHS.
And there are people this week that will lose their baby.
The NHS were amazing, I must say that. We all know that, and it's not until you're actually put in that really bad situation that you appreciate how good they are. 100%, and I can't thank them enough. I really can't, but it does kind of frustrate me that through funding or whatever it might be, I just wish they had the funds
I only
to
knew
test.
about it because of this show, because there was no way... I mean, I paid to have the test privately. I don't mind saying that. I went, but the reason I did it was because we've done items like this in the past and spoken about it, but it was only through the awareness of this that I knew about it. So it does need to be talked about.
Yeah, and we want more mothers to know about this. I mean, this week, one baby will die because of Group Strep B. Another one will be left disabled for life because of Group Strep B.
Yeah,
well, the NHS England say the UK National Screening Committee does not recommend routine testing for Group Strep B as there is not enough clinical evidence that it is effective or sustainable. In 2017, the National Institute for Health Research commissioned a call for a trial to see if there is an effective way to routinely screen for a Strep B in pregnant women. Funding this will be announced in due course. So we know they're strapped for cash, but you wonder, for that £30 test against how much it would have cost to have a baby in intensive care for 10
days. They were working around the clock, and they were
Absolutely.
amazing. But as you say, the amount of staff, it was literally two staff for one baby in that ward.
Let's bring Teddy in. This is Simone, who's a friend of the family.
Oh, my goodness.
Because your partner's working today, so there we go. Chris, there have been petitions about this, haven't there? Nothing's happened.
Oh, look, he's got Spitfires on his baby grow film. Oh, can I have a call?
Yeah, of course.
There we are.
Hello, Teddy.
A Group Strep B recovery baby.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to be a pilot.
In the States, in the States, when they introduced routine testing of women in the antenatal clinic, Group B Strep dropped by 86%.
Yeah. Well, listen, he is just perfect and beautiful, and congratulations to you and your partner. Enjoy every minute of him.